Subtle thought. So this video is going to go with a video called How to Communicate with the Astral Plane, because in order to do that, you need subtle thought. So with subtle thought, right? You know how like when you think you use words, right? You can think without using words. You don't even have to use images and stuff like that, because sometimes you'll think by just using images. But here's what I mean though. When you're a baby, right, you don't think in words. You have to learn the words first. So you think in a different language. You just use kind of just your will. Because they say that thought is just mind in action. That's kind of right. It's more specifically your intellect in action. You're choosing to create thoughts which involve some kind of action. So with that being said, right, imagine if you could just like make the thoughts but without the words. And you learn how to do that by like if you start saying like hey inside you, say hey, hey. Now, you could kind of feel a feeling that underlies the hey, and then try to just bring that on more. I mean, I'm doing it right now, but I guess you can't really tell because you know it's inside of me, but like, yeah. You do that because you start learning how to, one, you learn how to pick up on subtle frequencies, because that means that there's something that underlies all these words. If you were able to say every word and get the underlying feeling, then when the feeling comes across you that's not in word form, you'll know what it's trying to communicate. You feel me? And it's even dope because if you learn the feeling behind it, you can learn how to make the feeling influence your body, and then you can communicate more efficiently with body language by just bringing on the feeling and having the feeling spread out throughout your whole entire body. So subtle thought is a way of pretty much communicating in a better way, because you start to you start understanding what underlies these words and these thoughts and stuff like that, you know. And then eventually with subtle thought, it helps you communicate with the astral plane. You feel me? And it also helps with prayer, because now it's like you could communicate with God without actually having to use words, you know. Now you should pray with words because it'll be better for your mind to understand. But as you could get more subtle thought, you can start communicating and praying without the words, and it could get more powerful and a bit more responsive. And like, yeah, but you'll be but if you the thing is though, if you do that whole subtle thought thing and then thought for state of consciousness through like, you know, substances or something else, you know, then it could mess up it could mess up the subtle thought, and you'll have to use more words, because now that your state is thrown off, the way that you feel is thrown off and stuff like that, and it could mess up things. So it's like, yeah. But that's pretty much subtle thought. You pretty much start to get you get the emotion and feeling of what underlies the thoughts, and then you just start bringing those on instead of the thoughts in general. You feel me? Hope that makes sense. That's subtle thought.